Hello, my Maple Leaf fans. Welcome to the Media Availability Practice Playoff Edition Team Press Conference by Sheldon Keefe. I'm now going to take you guys through that conference before Tuesday's game.
I am by your side.
Thanks. Anytime.
I am by your side.
What if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta tags page by page.
Sheldon, what's your message to the group coming off last night's game?
Well, it's just to recognize where we're at here, that we're in here today and recovering and meeting and all of that because, we're still alive here in this series. And we get an opportunity here now. The schedule has allowed us to have a couple of days. Today, recovery day, and a chance to discuss some things, and a practice day tomorrow, and get out on the road to go out and play in a building which we won the last time we were there. So, there's reasons for optimism there, and that's what we're just trying to make sure the players are aware, and that's the front of mind, and we got to get ready to go out and recognize what's ahead and how difficult it's going to be, but at the same time know that we're preparing to win one hockey game.
You want to stick with it, but stick with what you've been doing in terms of the process. But what has to change to get the game back in for Game 6?
Well, the special teams, of course, are the biggest thing, right? And there's one area that really stood out last night is our power play had a chance to really get us going in the game, and really in that first period, and really failed to do so. That was probably the most disappointing part of the game, and that the urgency level wasn't higher at that particular time. So that's a big one, but this series and these games that we've been in, they're far closer than it may appear. And we need little things to shift over into our favor, starting with special teams. Whether we're one finish chance away or one extra save away, to shifting that over into our favor. We won one game in this series. It's the game which we scored a power play goal at an important time. We got a penalty kill at a very important time in that game. That we need something like that to shift to our favor, and then it's just one less mistake and one more positive puck going the other way. So that's really how close it is. Even last night, we're not performing well as a team last night at all. There's 5 minutes left in the first period when we give up that goal, and the shots were 5-3 for us at that time. We'd given up 3 shots in the first period. So, it's a lot closer than it appears, and we need to just get things to move over to our side of the ledger.
When you're facing elimination, do you want to go in with a different sense of urgency or desperation, or guard against kind of changing or feeling anything different?
I think if we've got to talk about urgency and desperation this time of year, you're in trouble, and that's, like I said, last night on our first power play, to me, that was the most disappointing area of the game in that sense of urgency and such. Otherwise, we've played hard in this series. We've competed. Even last night, again, not a great night for us, but we got 50 hits again in the game. We only give up 22 shots. You don't do all those things unless you're defending with some urgency and competing. So I think we've been good in that regard. And it's less about recognizing that you're facing elimination and look at it more so the opportunity to go in on the road, give ourselves some life in this series, and bring it back home for a chance to get it right.
So I know it's only been 14 hours, so has there been any improvement with the way Austin's feeling and doing?
Not much update there. He's luckily, again, we've got a couple of days here, and we thought the last couple of days would help us, but it's for whatever reason, it's not one of those run-of-the-mill, everyday type of illnesses that sort of come and go. This one has lingered, and the effects have lingered and have gotten worse when he's getting on the ice and asserting himself. So we've just got to manage that and give him the time that he needs. And obviously, we're hopeful that it'll turn.
Will you consider changes to the top power play unit, or too late for that?
Well, we had changes to the top power play unit last night, and it got worse, not better. So, yeah, we'll consider and talk about everything. We have time on our side here in that sense. Today is less about such discussions, more so about diagnosing some of the things that have been problematic and looking at some of the things that have gone well for us in this series and how we continue to embrace those and build upon them. And tomorrow we'll start to have the discussions about lineup and stuff like that.
As far as the chirping on the bench last night, many people saw that as divisive. Other people saying it might be something that brings you guys a little closer together. How do you look at it the day after?
I look at it as something that happens when things aren't going well, and in the past, quite honestly, those that wouldn't have happened. Guys wouldn't have talked it out, wouldn't have, if you want to call it arguing it out, that wouldn't have happened. I look at that as progress, and those guys care. I don't look at it as frustration. I look at them being upset and pissed off that they didn't deliver for the team, and they're pushing and challenging each other to get it right. And probably the better thing for me is the remainder of the game, the next opportunities that we had, the 6-on-5, all these things. They're working together. They're talking about it. They're making a plan. They're talking in the intermissions. So these guys have been together a long time, and they're pushing and challenging each other to get it right, and they know how important they are to the team. And when they're not delivering, they recognize it. And I don't look at it as much more than that. Quite honestly, not the first time that it's happened.
When you see something like that on the bench, is it something you feel you need to address in that moment, or because, as you said, in that third period, guys are playing better, you just kind of leave it alone and let the players take care of it?
Yeah, I think quite honestly, I was at the other end of the bench when that occurred last night, and I didn't quite grasp what was going on. But I don't look at it as a big deal. I think it's important that those guys work their way through some things and figure things out, because they have great responsibility for our team and to our team, and they take it very seriously, and they're going to work together to find their way. And I think that word together is really important, not just them, but the remainder of our group. Those guys, we've all got to pull together, and it's going to take that type of team effort to help us work our way through this.
We talked about after game 2, but this group's pushed back. In the past, what stood out to you about that ability throughout the year?
Well, I think it's our ability as a team. Right, we've got a good team here. Like I said, this series and these games are a lot closer than they may appear. And last time we went to Boston, we were able to pull out a very good and important win. And throughout the season, we've responded well, in particular on the road. So, for those reasons, we just got to keep the focus narrow, control what we can control, which is today a good recovery day, and get our minds right and get to work tomorrow and head out to Boston.
What was your sense of Nylander last night, coming off obviously the absence, and how much room do you see for him to grow moving forward in the series?
It was good for him to get the game. I thought he got better as it wore on. He looked to me like a guy that's definitely adjusting to the series, and what's required in the series to be able to have success. And some of the things that he was looking to do aren't available. This team defends very well, and he needs to adapt to the series, but he will. We discussed it and talked to him about it, and he was in our meetings prior to, during the series. But it's one thing to get out there and execute. Well, he's a guy that knows he can make a difference and wants to make a difference, and I think he'll make adjustments going into the next game that will help him with.